This is a video to show you how to enter your post in on WordPress. I am at confidentcounselors.com/wp-login.php. You're going to go ahead and put your login information in there. It wants me to prove I'm human. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and log in. And this will take us to our dashboard in WordPress. You're not going to your site isn't going to look exactly like this because there's some things you won't have access to. But what I want you to do is go ahead and click post. That should always be there. Most of the time, I will try to add your post in based on what you signed up for, but sometimes it might not be there. I'll try to be on top of this, but I forget. So anyway, this one right here is the one I'm going to be working on. It's something that a conversation question Kate responded to. I'm going to go ahead and click that. As you can see, it's in progress, so that lets other people know it's still being worked on. There's a couple other options I'll show you, but let me go ahead and click that and get in here. Some stuff's already completed, but I'll go through it from start to finish. So if you go ahead, once you're here, we're going to have two options. I'll go for look for the other video about how to do this with Thrive Architect if you want to use that instead. I'll do a little thing in our group about it as well. But okay, so anyway, so I'm going to scroll down past all this stuff and get to here. So this is the Good Writer Checkify. So it's just a checklist for the blog posts. Any part that doesn't have editor or my name in front of it, you're completing. So the very first thing, we're going to add a focus keyword. So this is something a person would search in Google to find this post. Here we go back up to the top, and Kate's post was about presenting guidance lesson data to staff. So I'm going to go right here. This is the focus keyword part that's talking about. I already have that in. So that's the keyword is presenting guidance lessons data to staff. So if somebody searched this in Google, our hope is that this post will come up. And that, to me, is a likely thing people might search for. You might decide on something else, but think about how would someone find this? What would they type into Google if they wanted to find the content that I'm writing about? So once you have the focus keyword in, I'm going to go ahead and check that off. I'm going to make sure my title also includes that keyword if possible. This just lets Google know this is definitely on the topic that the keyword's there for. So tips for presenting guidance lesson data to staff is what we have. I've also adjusted the URL to have that. You don't want that to be too long, but you want it to be indicative of what the topic is. So I go ahead and do that. Click that one off. So next part says click edit snippet. I'm going to add 2 to 3 sentence brief description of your blog post with the keyword in it. So go back up here again, right above that it says edit snippet. I'm going to click there. And this is the part that you want to edit. So this was the end of that URL that I changed. You don't have to worry about this. What you want to worry about is this part. So I went ahead and added presenting guidance lesson data to teachers and administration. So again, I have that keyword in there. And just way to share effectiveness on the counseling programs. And you'll see up here, that's where it shows. So if it came up in Google, they would see this part underneath. So what it should do is really tell them what the blog post is going to be about. I'm going to go ahead and close that and click edit. So I've done that part. I'm going to click add media. So this is where I'm going to add all of my images for the post. I've already done this, but I want to show you. So up here is add media. Show you some of the latest. So what I've done is those ones are here, here, and here. This is a Pinterest image. This is an Instagram image, and this one is a Facebook image. So what I do need to add in there though is the Pinterest text and the alt text. I'm going to go back real quick because I'm just going to use my snippet as a starting point. So I don't have to reinvent the wheel. Going to go back to add media. Let's start with my Instagram image. So I just went ahead and pasted that. And that's what I'm going to leave it for right now, but definitely, obviously, with Pinterest, with the descriptions, you want it to have it come up in Pinterest search as well. This is also helpful. Images that have the keywords are helpful that Google, again, knows that this post is about that. And the image, I don't want to actually, let's see, all those saved. Yep, all that's in there. So I'm just going to close out of this real quick. If I go back down to that list, So I've added the media, I've uploaded images for the post, if there was any internal images, so you have pictures of like a resource or something like that. I've added the alt text in the Pinterest description, and it contains the keyword. So I'm going to go ahead and click off. Now I want to, it says scroll down on the side. In fact, right now I'm going to scroll up, and add a featured image. And the dimensions are the same as they would be for Facebook. Sometimes it makes sense to use the image you use for Facebook. Sometimes you want to use a little less text just because it's nicer looking. These conversation posts are pretty low on just how much is sitting there, so, or how much text is on the image. So I'm going to go ahead and use that as the featured image. It should appear over here in a second. There we go. It's nice. And then go ahead, go down, get rid of, I went ahead and did the feature image. In the Yoast panel, I'll show you where that is, you're going to add in a Facebook image. So this is the Yoast panel. Right here is your social area. You're going to click that. We're already in Facebook. We're not going to worry about Twitter. You're going to upload an image. We've already done that before when we added all of the images in. You'll see 1200 by 628. That's my Facebook image. I already have all the alt text. Everything's already set to go. I'm going to go ahead and use the image. And that's already there. So when somebody shares that post onto Facebook, Facebook will pick up this image. So if it's different than any other one that we have, or the feature image that we're using, Facebook will pick up that one. So that's the purpose of that. And go ahead and click that off. We're going to paste the text of your post in the text into this area. So I've already done that. I've taken Kate's how she responded to the question. I've added that in here, and I've broken it up into easier to read paragraphs. And then I've also added a part where I'm going to write an intro for the conversation post, just to let people know what we're talking about, and then just a call to action question at the end, basically asking people to comment about how they present their data to staff. You can already see, so that Yoast is telling us how readable our post is, as well as whether it's search engine optimized. Right now we're looking pretty good, but I'll show you how you can find that and see that. So we already pasted the text in. Using headers, usually the conversation post I would put a header above Kate's and then a header above the next person. We only have, Kate is the only one who responded to this one. So I might not use headers, or I might try to add them into this section. But let's just say, for example, we'll just put example header. If I go ahead and highlight that, go to here, I can go ahead and add in example header right there. And what I want to do is I always want to use the headers. It tells Google what different parts of it are about, and lets it scan it easier than if you just say did bold and tried to increase the size of the text or something. Don't do that. Use the headers themselves. So I'll go ahead, I'm going to click that off. Want to double check that we've left one space after a period. It is easier to read on screens. When you have more than one, it's a problem. So just try to get rid of that habit. I'm going to go ahead and click that off because I think I already went through. If applicable, you want to add images into your post. So say you had a post about different activities for anxiety or something like that in counseling, you would have images that would show those kinds of activities. You want to put those in, and that's a really simple ad. So I'm just going to show you and do that. I'm just going to pick one of the, say, an image from Carla's last post. I'll add that in. Wherever I put my cursor, it will show up there. So then it goes embeds right in the center there. I'm going to go ahead and delete that since that's not relevant for this one, but that's how you would do that. And you just want to make sure that those images, again, have the alt text and the Pinterest description. So if they do get pinned, it's helpful. Add in all hyperlinks. So if Kate, for example, has a link to her Instagram account where she has a walkthrough in her stories, as well as a link to, I believe, her store. If you remember, which I'm going to do this for Kate at some point, is just to use UTM codes if you're going back to TPT, just so you can see when traffic is coming from Confident Counselors. It's just more of a help to you than anything else. And I have that in there using UTMs and bit.ly links. And then usually at the end of posts, if you haven't, I'll go through and add links to any previous Confident Counselors posts that are related. So Kate has a needs assessment post using Google Forms that I will likely attach to this as well as a related post. Our theme also might come up with it too. I'm going to go ahead and click that. Add a Pinterest image at the end. So depending on how you want it to look, you could do one of two things. I'll show you. So I'm going to add that Pinterest image. That's that long one. Insert that into the post. Let's see how it comes up for a second. Perfect. It's going to be really, really big, but we want it to be because then it gets pinned to Pinterest at the correct, like with good clarity and stuff. So I'm going to scroll down real quick. And the other plugin we have is called Tasty Pins, and this will hide a Pinterest image. So if you have a second one, I'm going to use the one that we have, pretending like we have two. If you have a second Pinterest image, sometimes I have two, you can add that in here. It won't show up visually in the post, but when people click pin, the little pin it extension, it will surface as one of those there. I'll show you that at the end. So we're going to add in, we added the Pinterest image in. I'm going to scroll down and find the author box. This is a Confident Counselor's post, but Kate's the only one on it, so I'm going to list Kate as the author. And then that one's that, and then you're going to save the draft as pending review. So come over to your status. Right now it's in progress. You have a couple options. Things will either be pitched or assigned to you, and then once they can be in draft. I have to edit some of these, but right now what you're going to do when you want the big one is when you want someone to know that this is done and ready to be looked at, just click pending review and click OK. And then we're going to save as pending review. Should take just a couple seconds. And now I'm going to do a quick preview to see what this is looking like on the page. It's obviously not done. I have to go back and add those intros and links and things like that. Let me check real quick. All right, let's go to preview. I just want to run through a couple last quick things. All right, there we go. So this case post should be up in a second. So that has example header. So the example header is a little bit big. I probably make that a bit smaller. I think I've got header 2. Might go down to header 3 or 4. So you can see how it's broken up really nice. And what I'll do is also add Kate's logo in, so that's in there, and I'll add a big question here, and then it has the pin if you want the pin. There's Kate's logo and her links, and then our subscriptions to there. So it does have some things that have popped up as far as related posts, but they're not particularly great. So, and then also just that hidden pin, if I click pin it, hopefully it should pop up in a second. There we go. So one of those was those ones that I had hidden, so both of them show up, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and go back to here. And another thing I want you to look at when you're done with as you're putting your post in, is this Yoast plugin area. So these are the two little green and red buttons that are up top over here. So we're going to come down to here, and it's telling us a couple of the problems are the focus keyword. So this is for SEO. A focus keyword doesn't appear in the first paragraph of the copy. That's a paragraph that I still have to write. I'll make sure that's in there. And Kate doesn't really mention presenting guidance lesson data, but I'm going to make sure that it's in the beginning and ending, so that isn't as big of a deal. It's short text because we only have one person responding, but once I add those paragraphs in, we'll be over those 300 words. And then I'm also going to add that extra internal link. So actually we'll probably get rid of all of these problems with SEO. And it would like us to use the keyword in the headers, but it's not necessary. I'm going to go ahead and go over to readability. That's the other tab. So it's telling us how easy it is for somebody to read it. They are saying our sentences are a little bit long, so I could break up some Kate's sentences. There's also saying some of the paragraphs are a bit long, but that might be formatting because I don't think any of Kate's paragraphs are that long. This is just reading it wrong. Also, the sentences are a bit long, so we can try to mix some of that up, mix the start of sentences, and just make things a little bit easier to read for people and get that either into the orange or green area. It's just good feedback to have. So again, you hit that pending review, and then one of the editors or myself will go ahead and check it, and then we'll go through and schedule everything to be published and onto social media. If you have any questions, definitely message any one of us. I probably have the most experience going through all of this stuff, so definitely reach out to me with any questions or in the Facebook group. Thanks so much.